Hey everybody, and welcome back to another deep dive with us.
Glad to be here.
Today we're diving into a topic that I think is going to resonate with a lot of you out there.
hmm
Whether you're a parent or an educator or just someone who's passionate about education,
Yeah.
we're talking about what it takes for a school to be truly exceptional.
Right.
Not just good, but like gold medal winning,
Absolutely.
We're going beyond just test scores and rankings to really uncover what matters most.
Yeah, exactly.
And to guide us on this deep dive, we're turning to a really thought-provoking blog post by Dr. Howie Knoff
Oh, yeah, no, Dr. Knoss.
of Project Achieve Educational Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And he uses a really interesting analogy.
Yeah.
He looks at the journey of the U.S. women's Olympic gymnastics team
Wow, what an analogy.
to kind of provide a framework for how we can think about schools striving for excellence.
Okay, so I'm already hooked. Just tell me more.
So right off the bat, Nassif kind of throws out this line that really grabbed my attention. He says, there are no perfect schools, just as there are no perfect teams, but there are winning teams, just as there are winning schools.
Hmm.
And when I read that, I was like, phew, okay, like no one's expecting perfection here.
Right.
But it still begs the question, how do we get to winning,
Right. How did you get to winning?
What does it actually take?
Yeah.
And Knoff really emphasizes that just like those Olympic gymnasts, it takes years of dedication, of effort, of individual and collective work
Oh, for sure.
to create a school that's truly thriving.
Yeah. And he's not just talking about the teachers, right?
Right.
It's the parents, the coaches, the community,
Right.
and of course the students themselves.
It's like a whole ecosystem.
Absolutely. Everyone has a role to play.
And, thinking back to my own school days, one thing that really stands out to me is like resources matter.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot, having good facilities, access to technology, even just having enough teachers,
Yeah.
like those things make a difference.
They really do.
And Knoff doesn't shy away from that at all.
No, he doesn't.
He's very upfront about the connection between resources and a school's ability to, help students succeed.
He makes a really good point about that.
And then he also talks about relationships,
Oh, interesting.
which I think is so important.
It is.
I mean, think about those Olympic gymnasts.
Yeah.
Their bond is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's clearly a huge part of their success.
For sure.
And I think that same sense of trust and collaboration is vital in a school setting.
I agree. I mean, you can really tell the difference
Right.
between a classroom where everyone's kind of like doing their own thing.
Versus one where you feel like you're part of something bigger.
Yeah,
Like you're all in it together.
exactly.
It makes a huge difference.
And that sense of belonging can be so powerful
Absolutely.
for students and for teachers too, I imagine.
Oh, yeah, definitely for everyone involved.
And that kind of leads us to another crucial element that Knoff highlights. Professional development for educators.
Oh, that's so important.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like athletes need top-notch coaches,
Mm-hmm.
teachers need ongoing training and support
Absolutely.
to stay at the top of their game.
Because things are constantly changing.
Exactly.
New research, new approaches. You got to keep learning.
Right. And the world's changing too.
Exactly.
So we've got resources, we've got relationships, we've got professional development.
It's a lot.
But even with all that in place, there are going to be setbacks.
Right.
I mean, even the U.S. women's gymnastics team didn't win gold in Tokyo.
Yeah, they got silver, right.
Right.
But look what happened a few years later.
Exactly. They came back stronger than ever.
Yeah,
And I think that's a really important lesson for schools too.
it is. Resilience is key
Mm-hmm.
for everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Teachers, students, administrators,
Yeah,
everyone.
everyone.
This Knoff really drives this point home.
Yeah,
He says that even the most successful schools will face challenges.
of course.
It's inevitable.
Right.
But what matters is how they respond, how they learn from those experiences.
Yeah, and how they adapt to keep moving forward.
It's like that growth mindset we always hear about
Yeah.
applied to the entire school community.
It makes me think about Simone Biles
Oh, yeah.
and her decision to prioritize her mental health in Tokyo.
Such a powerful moment.
It was.
And ultimately, I think it contributed to her success later on.
It really shows how taking care of the whole person, both physically and mentally, is essential for success.
Mm.
And it highlights the importance of what Knoff calls mental conditioning,
Mm.
not just for athletes, but for students too.
Okay, so how do we apply that mental conditioning idea to the classroom?
That's a great question, and it's something that Knoff really digs into in the next section.
Okay, Leone.
He calls education a tag team marathon for students from kindergarten all the way through grade 12.
A tag team marathon, huh? Okay, I am intrigued. Tell me more.
All right, so let's unpack that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Think about it this way. Each teacher a student has is like a runner in a relay race,
Okay.
passing the baton of knowledge to the next.
I like that.
And just like in a marathon, you need endurance, you need strategy, and you need a whole lot of teamwork to reach the finish line.
So if one runner stumbles,
Exactly.
the whole team's performance is affected.
It is.
That's a pretty high-stakes analogy.
It is, and Knoff doesn't shy away from that.
Yeah.
He actually shares a personal story about his own son, who had a less-than-stellar math teacher in 4th grade.
Oh, wow.
And despite being in the gifted program,
Mm-hmm.
this teacher's lack of preparation and engagement really held him back in math
Really?
for years.
Wow, that's a sobering thought.
Yeah,
It really underscores the importance of having strong teachers at every grade level.
it does.
So what can parents do if they suspect their child might be facing a similar situation?
That's a great question, and it's one that Knoff addresses head-on.
Okay.
He emphasizes open communication with teachers as a crucial first step.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to ask about their teaching methods, their approach to addressing different learning styles, their plans for supporting students who might be struggling.
So it's about being proactive
Yes,
and advocating for your child's needs.
exactly. And if you're not seeing the progress you'd hoped for, don't hesitate to seek additional support.
Like what kind of support?
Well, that could involve working with the school to create a more individualized learning plan,
Okay.
exploring tutoring options, or even connecting with other parents who might have faced similar challenges.
It sounds like it takes a village,
It does.
not just to raise a child, but to educate them effectively.
Absolutely.
Okay, so back to this tag team marathon idea.
Yeah.
What happens during those baton handoffs between grades?
Oh, that's a crucial point.
I remember those transitions being a little bumpy sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
And Knoff really stresses the importance of seamless transitions between grade levels.
Okay.
Just like runners practice those baton passes meticulously. Schools need to ensure there's a smooth flow of information and support as students move up.
So are we talking about teachers from different grades collaborating more,
Absolutely.
sharing lesson plans or student progress reports?
Yes. And it goes beyond just communication between teachers.
Okay.
It's about having a well-aligned curriculum,
Mm-hmm.
clear learning goals,
Yeah.
and a shared understanding of each student's individual needs and strengths.
It makes me think about the difference between running a marathon on a well-marked course
Yes.
versus trying to navigate a trail with no signs or mile markers.
Exactly.
You need that clear direction to stay motivated and on track.
You need to know where you're going.
Right.
And just like a marathon runner trains for different terrains and conditions, students need to be prepared to face a variety of academic and emotional challenges.
Which brings us back to that idea of mental conditioning we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
How does Knoff suggest schools go about helping students develop those skills?
He has a really interesting way of putting it. He argues that the definition of mastery is when students can demonstrate their skills under conditions of emotionality.
Okay, so think about Simone Biles.
Exactly.
She's an incredible athlete, obviously. But the pressure of the Olympics, the weight of expectations,
Yeah.
it clearly impacted her.
Both physically and mentally.
It's like those moments in school when you're totally prepared for a test.
Oh, yeah.
You know the material inside and out, but then you get in there and your heart starts racing. Your palms are sweating.
Ugh, I hate that feeling.
And suddenly you can't remember anything.
It's the worst.
Right.
And it's not just about test anxiety.
No.
It's about equipping students with the tools to manage a whole range of emotional challenges
Okay.
they'll encounter throughout their lives.
So not just in school, but in life.
Exactly. Knoff is a firm believer in explicitly teaching social emotional skills, just like we teach math or science.
So we're talking about giving them concrete strategies for handling criticism,
Yes.
coping with disappointment, working through conflicts,
Yes.
and even celebrating successes.
All of it. It's about building resilience,
Yes.
self-awareness, and the ability to navigate those big feelings that can sometimes derail us, whether we're on the Olympic stage or just trying to get through a tough day at school.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like we're training little Simone Bileses,
Right.
equipping them with the mental and emotional strength to face whatever challenges come their way.
Exactly.
But how do we actually do that?
Well,
Do we start handing out mindfulness coloring books and offering yoga classes during recess?
maybe not quite that simple, but the idea of incorporating mindfulness and stress reduction techniques into the school day isn't far off.
Okay.
Knoff sees teachers playing a key role here, almost like coaches and sports psychologists for their students.
So instead of just lecturing about good sportsmanship,
Right.
we're having kids role play different scenarios where they have to put themselves in someone else's shoes. Exactly.
It's about making it experiential, giving them the chance to practice those skills in a safe and supportive environment.
Nice.
Just like athletes simulate the pressures of competition during training,
Right.
schools can create opportunities for students to practice their social, emotional skills in real-life situations.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But, sometimes, even with the best training and support, things don't always go as planned.
Of course.
We all make mistakes. We all face setbacks.
It's part of life.
How do we help kids bounce back from those experiences and maintain a positive attitude?
Well, Knoff actually points to a really inspiring moment from the Paris Olympics.
Okay.
When Rebecca Andrade won gold on floor exercise.
Oh, yeah.
Remember how Simone Biles and Jordan Childs, who won silver and bronze, bowed down to Andrade during the medal ceremony?
Oh, yeah. It was such a powerful display of sportsmanship.
It was.
And genuine respect.
Yeah.
Like they were celebrating her victory. Even though they just missed out on the gold themselves.
Exactly.
It gave me chills.
It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
And it speaks volumes about the kind of character we want to cultivate in our students.
Right.
It shows that true winning goes beyond individual achievement. It's about recognizing and celebrating the successes of others,
Yeah.
even when you're facing disappointment yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Resources, relationships, professional development, mental conditioning,
It's a lot.
the importance of seamless transitions between grades.
Yeah,
It's a lot to take in.
it is. But I think it all boils down to this.
Okay.
Creating a school environment where every student feels supported,
Yeah.
challenged, and empowered to reach their full potential, both academically and emotionally.
That's what true gold medal education looks like.
Exactly.
So let's bring this back to you, the listener.
Yeah.
Think about the schools you're connected to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's your child's school, your alma mater, or a school in your community that you care about.
Right.
Do you see those elements of a winning team in place?
That's the key question.
And if we see schools embracing these principles,
Fantastic.
how can we support them?
Yeah.
How can we share their stories and inspire others?
Right. How can we help them keep doing what they're doing?
But what if we're seeing the opposite?
Hmm.
What if our schools are struggling to provide those resources
Yeah.
that support that sense of community?
Mm-hmm.
What if we're seeing students fall through the cracks?
Then it's time to step up
Yeah.
and ask ourselves, what can I do to make a difference?
What can I do?
Maybe it's volunteering at a local school,
Okay.
advocating for increased funding for education,
Mm-hmm.
or simply having conversations with teachers and administrators
Yeah.
about the challenges they're facing.
I love that
Yeah.
small steps can lead to big changes, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes just starting the conversation can be the catalyst for something amazing.
I agree.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we leave you with this.
Okay.
What's your gold medal vision for education? And what's one small step you can take today to help make that vision a reality?
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It's been a good one.
Keep those conversations going
Yes.
and keep striving for that gold.
And until next time, keep diving deep.